Hi, I'm Tammy Cooper, and I live on Bryce Prairie, which is about 15 miles north of La Crosse. A couple years ago, I joined the ranks of trail commuters and began riding from Bryce Prairie to downtown La Crosse about 3 days a week in warm weather. The path takes me through the La Crosse River Marsh. My husband also does a lot of long-distance bike riding and uses the marsh as a common link. Those of us who live in the area have watched what seems to be a big increase in flooding in recent years. This is especially apparent if you spend time in the marsh or work in view of the river from downtown. In June 2013, for example, there was still flooding in the marsh that required bike commuters like myself to lift your feet off the pavement and coast through the water. Last summer was really something. In June, I began riding my bike to and from work. At first, the two trouble areas were covered with water about 6 inches deep. I had to pedal through the water as opposed to putting my feet up and coasting, which could be fun and scary. On several occasions, the water was so high that the two areas were connected into one big stretch of flooded trail. Once you get into the area, there's no choice but to keep going and push on with the water up to your knees, barely able to get the pedals around on my bike. Surrounded by families of ducks, scary geese hissing, and a huge fish or two. Needless to say, I quit until the word was out from fellow commuters that the flooding had receded. All of this makes for great stories to tell your kids, friends, and coworkers, but it makes us all worried too. Rainfall and flooding seem to have increased in the region. I'm here today because I'm aware that a second rail in the marsh would eliminate over 7 acres of floodplain in the marsh. I also understand that the DNR uses a 100-year flood criteria to decide if loss of floodplain is relevant. I wonder if a 100-year flood criteria is still sufficient to protect us from flooding in this region. I have additional concerns. I understand Burlington Northern is considering increasing the length of trains to 200 cars, which is about 2 miles long. When you live in Bryce Prairie, the only way out is over 2 Burlington Northern crossings that are exactly 1 mile apart. I have also heard that Burlington Northern is expanding in other locations in the region too. It brings a number of questions to mind. How many trains can we expect in the future? Would we be held up for long periods of time trying to get onto Bryce Prairie? Would there be times when trains might stop and block both crossings for long periods of time, like you hear about in other areas? Will emergency responders have a hard time getting in and out of Bryce Prairie? Could this affect the rate of our homeowners insurance? How many horns will we have to listen to a day? Like many other people here today, I would like to ask the DNR to require that an environmental impact statement be done. This project has far-reaching effects that need to be studied thoroughly. Thank you.
Do you want us to take your testimony?
Next we have Roger Nygaard, followed by, oh, I'm sorry.